rather live on your knees? And what if that's really what all this is about, folks? I've mentioned to you before, what if this is a soul test? What if this is simply an exam before the main show? What if you've come here to show people what you're actually made of, and that what it's really all about is the mood that you're in when you die, how you're prepared to die, how much you're prepared to take, and how much you will allow the fear of death to overcome what you know is right. And why would you be afraid of something like that anyway? I mean, how much are you prepared to take before you're prepared to say something? What if these are the real questions of what life is about, folks? And what if that's why evil exists? So that you have the choice as to whether to accept that evil, whether to speak up against that evil, whether to stand and shine your light and be a righteous person. What if that's what all this is about, folks? It's not about inflicting your belief systems on others. It's not about self-gratification. It's not about climbing to the top of any social pile or any economic pile. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about the moral stance that you adopt. It's about where you allow your moral compass to aim you and the direction you take from that aiming. I mean, what if this is what it's about, folks? What if it really is a soul test? What if this is simply an exam to find out what you're really made of? How many people do you think would be passing this test in today's world? I'm sure there's a few, but so many people seem to be completely unaware of the test. So many people seem to be completely unaware of themselves is the problem. So many people are lost. If you really look at the world, folks, what you have is a lot of really sad, lonely people wandering around and wondering why they feel so disconnected from each other. And that's an unfortunate reality. And even when you look at that, a lot of people aren't even prepared to admit that. But if you can step back and look at it, that's very often what you see. Well, that's what I've seen very often in my travels anyway. I've seen a bunch of really lonely people really searching for some meaning in their lives, not realizing that life itself holds its own meaning. The path itself is the meaning that they're looking for. The discovery of themselves is the journey that they're on and the journey that they're trying to find. Very often people are wondering why they're here, and yet they're alive and they don't even know themselves, and they're questioning why they're here. Well, perhaps it's to get to know what you are, to get to know what it means to be conscious, to get to know what it means to interact with other versions of yourself, and to see how your actions actually affect reality in a positive way or in a negative way, depending on what you do, but they actually have a profound effect on reality. The things we say and do have a profound effect on the physicality around us. We might think that they don't, but really they do. I mean, we are all the center of our own universe, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to look at the multiverse, you want to look at all the different universes that exist, well, there are millions of them right here on this earth, because each person is the center of their own universe, if you can look at it that way. Everything radiates out from you, and the overlapping of human consciousness, the overlapping of human interaction is like the overlapping of a multiverse. It's a huge web of consciousness that we've got here, folks, and just trying to find that little golden nugget in the middle of it is the most significant part of the journey, but it's there. It's there. If people could just see, I often speculate on just how easy it would be to change the world if there was some sort of an epiphany, if people just discovered the truth of themselves and discovered the beauty of themselves. As I've often said, we could change the world in a day. We could literally change it in 3 seconds if it was just in the form of some epiphany. I live in the hope that this will happen one day, that people will simply wake up and go, oh my God, I have value, and just realize what they are and see the beauty of other people. I just pray that this will happen. I don't know whether it ever will, but I think that's about the only thing that's going to change things, because the human drama is so complex, and you have to wonder what we can ever do to change the world if people aren't prepared to listen. And people simply aren't prepared to listen very often because they're so caught up in trying to find themselves and so caught up in this experience they're having, that you just have to look at it and think, well, it's snowballing now. That's why when I look at the tech, I think, well, it's snowballing, and I can't see a way out that doesn't involve some sort of epiphany. I guess that's why I continue to do these shows, just in the hope that perhaps I can help someone discover themselves along the way.